Welcome to our final episode of 2025, in which we're discussing Wake Up Dead Man, another Benoit Blanc murder mystery from Rian Johnson, which just dropped this month on Netflix. We're also talking about a couple notable things that have happened over the past couple weeks and sharing our experiences watching Wicked for Good and everything else we've been doing leading up to the holidays. All on this episode of Watch, Review, Repeat, which starts now. Welcome to Watch, Review, Repeat. This is the podcast where two best friends discuss the latest in film and television and then do it all over again the following episode. My name is Colton Brown, and joining me on this fine episode here is one Andrew Meadows.
It is me. I was trying to quickly come up with another voice, but I have no voice. It is me, and we are here, you and I.
We are here to solve an impossible crime.
It's pretty good.
We are here to talk about Wake Up Dead Man, sometimes called Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. But you know what I say about that? I say, fuck your Knives Out subtitles. I do not care for them one bit.
I call it Knives Out 3.
He texted me and said, I watched Knives Out, and I'm like, oh my God, did he just watch the first one again? And surely he watched, like we're going to have a tough time recording tonight if he didn't watch the new one. Let's call it, I know, I'm sure I said this exact same rant when Glass Onion came out, the second one, which also had that dumbass A Knives Out mystery branding attached. Just call it a Benoit Blanc mystery, something, like Knives Out's its own thing, man. It's its own thing. It's okay. And it's okay to be its own thing. Glass Onion's its own thing. Why didn't they call this one a Knives Out mystery, a Glass Onion tale? Just keep it going. Pay it forward, So anyway, it's Wake Up Dead Man. And, it's funny because I think I made the argument that Frankenstein should have been Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. When it's not. It's not. It's just Frankenstein. This one, I think that less is more. That one, maybe more is more. But anyway, it's Wake Up Dead Man, which is another mystery film written and directed by Rian Johnson, which serves as a follow-up to both Glass Onion and Knives Out, which brings back Daniel Craig as Benoit Blanc and a brand new ensemble cast. And we are going to be talking about that on this episode. I'm very excited to talk about it. Listeners might be thinking, hey, didn't you forget to put out an episode maybe last week? Because I don't recall seeing a Wicked for Good episode as you promised at the end of your last Brews, News, and Previews episode. Well, there is a story there. There is a story there indeed. It is a story that I think will be largely reserved for our catching up section on this episode to give some sizzle. But
there was an attempt.
There was an attempt. I have seen Wicked for Good. Andrew has seen part of Wicked for Good, which is perhaps a tease of why we did not cover it last week. It's a whole saga, I think, is probably the fairest way of putting it. And I've, I know a little bit from what Andrew has told me, but I don't think the full story has been laid bare. So we will be getting into that later. But suffice it to say, there were issues, really on a couple fronts. I think number one, seeing the movie at least in full was a challenge. And then scheduling, we talked about maybe doing a shorter, truncated, like, hey, this is kind of a weird, way to cover this, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to make the best of our situation. And I had some scheduling conflicts, and so the availability became difficult. And then suddenly Wake Up Dead Man drops on Netflix, and it's kind of like, hey, I can just watch this at home.
Oh,
and
so good.
And it just made more sense to shift gears, do this as our full episode, and kind of move Wicked for Good and that saga to the catching up. So it'll kind of be its own little section of the catching up part, and then we'll talk about anything else we've been up to. But But I do want to flag that now. So this is sort of 2 episodes rolled into one in some ways. We're not going to do a full spoiler deep dive on Wicked or anything like that. I think we'll talk about the experience of seeing the movie more than we'll talk about the movie itself is probably
right.
what will happen. But we will talk about it, and we will talk about why we didn't cover it in more detail later, along with, like I said, all the other many things that we've been up to. And so, this episode's already kind of funky. It's a little, like I said, it's kind of smashing a couple episodes into one. And, since we switched to our new format, episode 301 on, we've split up our news and stuff into the Brews news and previews episodes, which we've done a couple of now, and we reserve our major movies, TV shows, whatever it is, for their own episode where we can just dive right in, and try to keep these episodes streamlined as much as possible. Obviously, I've already made it abundantly clear this will probably not be the most streamlined of episodes, and we're also going to do one more thing, kind of breaking from that tradition. We are not going back to the old format or anything like that, but there was a really, really sad headline that broke over the weekend, and I don't know when we're going to be doing another news-centric episode, and I think to just kind of leave it out there and hanging and ignore it for possibly a month or longer feels like not the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. So we are briefly going to talk about the passing of Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle. They were found dead in their home on this past Sunday, mid-December, and an apparent double homicide committed by their son. And really, what I want to talk about is what the career of Rob Reiner. As usually when we celebrate the lives, I mean, we're bringing it up because of these horrible circumstances. But I think the important thing is to focus on Rob Reiner and who he was, and the things that he brought you and I, everyone. I mean, he started his career as an actor. He was Meathead on All in the Family. For anyone that watched that, I have to say it was before my time. It was before our time. I know Anna, I think, watched some of it, even though it was before her time, because I think it was her parents grew up watching and shared with her, and he won Emmys for that. He acted in a lot of things, but I think he really, for me, I mean, I'm personally speaking here, made a big impact as a director, as a director of
That's
of
where
film.
I knew him from. I didn't know he was an actor, I don't think.
Yeah, and I've seen him in things like he was, I think he's Jess's dad in New Girl, which is a really, really fun sitcom. I believe he was in the most recent season of The Bear, which I haven't watched, but obviously gets a lot of accolades and is a much beloved show. I mean, he's got a huge, extensive filmography in terms of acting, film, and TV credits, of which we could be here a long time talking about that if he wanted to be, but definitely on the directorial front, and a lot of what I saw on the internet was holy shit at the fucking run that Rob Reiner brought us, from 1984 to, let's say, 1992. There's an 8-year span where it is just incredible movies. I'll just run down it. So 1984, his directorial debut was This Is Spinal Tap, which is an all-timer. There's jumping ahead quite
Never
recently.
saw that
Spinal
one.
Tap 2, The End Continues. There's a sequel that was made 40 years later that just came out. They're both streaming on HBO Max now, I believe. And so definitely readily available to watch. I have not seen the second one. I have seen the first one. It's a great mockumentary. There's some classic stuff. I mean, it's just instantly quotable. These fucking doofuses in this band. These ones go up to 11. There's some really, really
okay.
There's some great.
I've heard that before. I didn't know that was from.
That's what it's from. It's from This Is Spinal Tap, and I think something else to think about is the genre shifting is really, really impressive. So
yes.
he moved on. 1985 to The Sure Thing, which I will say I haven't seen. It's a romantic comedy Christmas road film, so I guess maybe it would be appropriate to talk about this time of year, as it is Christmas time. Stars John Cusack, Daphne Zuniga. Like I said, I haven't seen that, but 1986, Stand By Me. You've got a coming-of-age film with Will Wheaton, River Phoenix, Corey Feldman, Jerry O'Connell, which is a classic. 1987, we got fantasy, we got adventure, you've got The Princess Bride.
Oh, classic. That's the one right there, dude.
That's an all-timer. Carrie Elwes, Mandy Patinkin, you know, I mean, holy shit. Just
Andre the Giant.
Andre the Giant, that's right. But I mean, an incredible fucking film. Absolutely incredible film. 89, you go kind of back into some romantic comedy with When Harry Met Sally. Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan, Carrie Fisher.
I think I've seen that.
It's a classic. It's a classic of the genre. The film was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant, or all of the above. 1990, psychological horror thriller called Misery, a Stephen King adaptation. That's a wild swing from one project to the next right there. From When Harry Met Sally to Misery that's crazy pants right there. I mean, that's ridiculous. And Misery's it's not a fun movie.
What a movie.
But it's a powerhouse movie with powerhouse performances particularly from Kathy Bates. Yeah, man.
Fucking breaking that dude's ankles with the fucking hammer.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then
it makes me
1992.
fucking cringe.
How about a legal drama? You want to try?
Oh, this is what inspired you.
Yeah, you want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Okay. You're goddamn right. I did. A Few Good Men. 1992 is A Few Good Men.
That's
Tom
a good
Cruise,
one.
Jack Nicholson, Demi Moore, Kevin Bacon. A military legal drama. Like, wow.
Like no other. That
like no other. And I mean that's 1994. That's maybe a third of his filmography, and I think that, you know, past that, there's definitely a lot of stuff that I haven't seen, so it's not as I don't have as much to go off of in terms of, you know, my experience and being able to talk about those movies. One movie that I know Anna has been trying to get me to watch for many years now is The American President, which was a political romantic comedy drama, which was written by Aaron Sorkin, and I think is kind of what more or less led to Aaron Sorkin working on The West Wing. You know, I think very much was the inspiration. It had Martin Sheen in it. I think it had maybe a couple other cast members that eventually went on to be in The West Wing, if I'm not mistaken. Having not seen it, I'll say. But definitely want to watch it. And I mean, on. And then just earlier this year, like I said, Spinal Tap 2: The End Continues came out in September. So he was active in his career, still acting, still directing. So I bring it up because it was a shock. I mean, it was a real shock to the system to see the headlines, and really just really awful situation. Yeah. So I mean, we lost Rob and his wife, you know, that's unimaginable for all involved. So I think I've said my piece. I don't know if you have any other pieces to say. I don't want to foreclose you from saying anything, but some real incredible work there. He's also very politically active too. So, and just all the accounts, you know, that have been coming out are just about how good of a guy he was, you know. So I think it's a real loss. It's a real loss, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a real loss, especially with his, like, he's an influential director, you know, and sounds like he's an influential person in general. So definitely a big space is left with his passing. So real unfortunate and terrible, absolutely fucking terrible news.
I mean, there's a lot that could be said about it, but no words would really, I think, do it justice. I think what I will say is rest in peace to Rob, Michelle Reiner, man, that's a really tough loss that we have there. So, well, we are going to take this episode in a very different direction. We are gonna talk about what we gathered here to talk about, which is a movie called Wake Up Dead Man. We are gonna shift gears. The title, no, it's not lost on me. It's not lost on me.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I had that thought, but what are you gonna do? I mean, well, here we go. I've got a great idea. A little, a way to break things up. Wake Up Dead Man is a movie that came out on Netflix, and Netflix is making moves, man. All right, so here, this is how
they are.
They are making moves. We talked on our last episode, Brews News and Previews, about, damn, it really seemed like Paramount's going to be closing in on buying Warner Brothers. It seems like a foregone conclusion. Seems like the Trump administration will rubber stamp it, and we're going to have some, fun Nazi propaganda for decades to come, swallowed alive in the current leadership of Paramount. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. So I'm not going to, we don't need to spend 15 minutes talking about this, but what I will say is, by the time that episode was out for the masses, that information was out of date. And so I would be remiss to at least not address it in some fashion as a little bit of an update on this front. WB has accepted the offer from Netflix to be purchased. So Netflix is just buying the Warner Brothers component, not the Discovery component, and which would include CNN and stuff. So that would be a separate thing, but it would, Warner Brothers Pictures and all of the many properties that includes Harry Potter, all the DC stuff. I don't know, a fuck ton of stuff, obviously. I mean, Warner Brothers has been around forever. So big deal, really big deal.
That's HBO, and that's HBO as well.
It's all of HBO. That's correct. Absolutely. It's all of HBO. So absolutely huge deal. This is Netflix we're talking about. Obviously, it's a streaming giant. It's not a big Hollywood movie studio. So, interesting ramifications for what does that mean? But it is not a done deal yet. The board of Warner Brothers has accepted Netflix's offer, but Paramount did not go down. Well, has not gone down without a fight. Let's put it that way. And they've tried to do a hostile takeover by sending an offer directly to the shareholders of Warner Brothers, like a $30 per share cash offer, which was backed by, Larry Ellison and Oracle, backed by, some of the money that they have at Paramount, which is not enough. Saudi backed, Jared Kushner's involved, although maybe not involved now because things are starting to fall apart. I think maybe some other Qatar money in there too, UAE money, so let's get the Middle East to buy Warner Brothers in part, sort of thing. Some real dire shit, let's put it that way, which is what we talked about on that episode. And for now, that has been rejected, but it's not over. So it's not over. So it seems like Netflix will be buying WB. It is not a sure thing. It has not been approved. It's not finalized. There's still a lot to come with that story. But Netflix, hey man, they can spend $500 million on 2 Knives Out sequels. I guess they got some good cash flow because they can fucking buy Warner Brothers. Maybe. We'll see. So that's the update for that.
So I was under the impression it was all of the stuff. So CNN...
Paramount's offer would be for everything. So that's one of the defining factors of what the difference is between their offers is Netflix only wants WB, the film TV side of things. Paramount wants it all.
They bid $20 billion more.
So Paramount's offer is bigger, but it's also for more things, and so it's kind of like if you do the math, they're basically saying that the Discovery and CNN are worth jack shit, so they should just be kind of thrown in as peanuts on top of So, and that's kind of why the Netflix offer is seen as a better value, is because they're offering a lot more bang for your buck, if that makes sense.
Because they can capitalize still on their other properties.
Because they can still sell Discovery and CNN for some amount of money, which is not going to be anything like what WB
billion,
will go for, but they seem to maybe rate it higher than what Paramount values it as in terms of how you actually math out that offer that they've made. So I think that's kind of what it is, and it's nothing's set in stone. It's very much ongoing. We will certainly check back in when we have more firm updates, but I did want to throw it out there. He said it works as maybe a little bit more effective segue, but also just to a little bit more. Just to kind of correct the fact that hey, we were talking about all this shit I don't know, I guess a couple weeks ago now for when we recorded, and that's totally outdated information now. We really thought this is totally going to be Paramount all the way. I was
pretty convinced,
and I was like, Netflix is in there just because. Well, at least let's jack up the price for Paramount if we can. But no, I mean, none of it's a good outcome. If you know what I mean, it's not good. I'm not rooting for anyone, but there are less bad scenarios, and I think Netflix, ultimately coming out on top and acquiring WB is probably the least bad scenario of the ones that are realistic and in motion right now.
Is it improper to take a quick a thinking game or whatever? What are the implications of a streaming service purchasing one of the largest production?
Know.
Yeah,
I think that's the question. That's what we could spend a lot of time talking about. They have said that they will be committed to keeping movies in theaters.
Okay.
So that's one thing. Does it mean they're going to have smaller windows? What happens to HBO Max? How does it work? I mean, we don't really know, to be honest.
Do I spend $100 for this, $100 a month for Netflix now? Does Netflix just jump up?
Just keeps going up anyway.
All the streaming service?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, Disney Plus and Hulu are still sort of separate, but not really, even though they're now both, owned by Disney. So I don't know.
Does Warner Brothers own any live things? Does it make sense? Do they have ABC is owned by Disney, right? So you get,
right, yeah.
Do they have any broadcasting things?
Well, I mean,
strictly.
I think
CNN.
Right, yeah, I think that would be lumped with the other side that wouldn't go to Netflix, so you wouldn't have a Netflix-owned CNN or anything like that as part of this deal if it goes through. I mean, the CW is a TV, that's a TV channel. I think there are TV channels that would probably be affiliated, but I don't know if there's anything quite on the scale of an ABC or CBS or whatever. So, yeah. I mean, one way or another, however it goes down, WB getting swallowed up by another company is probably going to fundamentally change the landscape of Hollywood in a big sort of way. What are the implications of that? We don't really know. I mean, it depends on how Netflix or Paramount, should it go that way for whatever reason. It really depends on how they operate, and we don't have a clear idea. I mean, Netflix is saying the right things of I don't know, we're gonna let WB still be WB and do WB stuff. We're not gonna fire James Gunn and Peter Safran and get The Rock back in there or Zack Snyder. We're not gonna restart the Snyderverse or anything like that. So I don't know. I mean, it could go any number of ways. We just have to go along for the ride. We're just along for the ride, man. We could have a brew or two on a future episode as we get more clarity and go into that a little bit more. Obviously, we've done a little bit, here now, but
really dive deep, because I don't even know all the properties of WB, all the companies and all the stuff. I don't know that.
No, we could do a deep dive when the time is right, but for now, I think we must table it. We've I think stalled and
put 15 minutes in it. Damn it, we were not going to be 15 minutes putting in it.
It might have been 10. We'll see. I haven't been closely tracking. Probably talked about it more than I said I would, but I did warn people. There's a lot going on in this episode. Right now, we're still in better shape. We would have another 10 pieces of news if we were doing this under the old format. So we're in pretty good shape, all things considered. Let's talk about Wake Up Dead Man, which is streaming on that streaming platform of Netflix. It is also in some theaters. Netflix is doing as they did with Frankenstein, it's playing in some kind of indie art house cinemas. It's not playing in an AMC or a Regal, but it is technically available to watch in theaters if you seek it out and have somewhere that you can, pay $10-15 and do it that way if you want. Or you can pay $20, $25, $30 on Netflix, whatever the hell it's up to these days. Not sure. But Wake Up Dead Man was written and directed by Rian Johnson. It stars, in addition to Daniel Craig as Benoit Blanc, Josh O'Connor, Glenn Close, and I will say, Anna gives me funny looks when I go through a whole cast list. These are the movies where you got to
go through that fucking cast list.
It's like fucking A-listers, man, left and right. It's crazy. So anyway, Josh O'Connor, Glenn Close, Josh Brolin, Mila Kunis, Jeremy Renner, Mr. Jeremy, Kerry Washington, Andrew Scott, Kaylee Spaney, Daryl McCormick, Thomas Hayden Church, and smaller role, but important, Jeffrey Wright. In Wake Up Dead Man, Detective Benoit Blanc teams up with an earnest young priest to investigate a perfectly impossible crime at a small town church with a dark history. I didn't ask you to come prepared. Do you have a fun fact about Wake Up Dead Man that you?
I'm not prepared.
Oh man. Oh God. Do we? Dare I say, skip over having a fun fact, or
we're skipping the fun? Or do you have prepared? You're prepared, aren't you?
Oh, here we go. This is a fun fact. I'm quickly scanning. Rian Johnson and I think we would be pals. This ties into what I said at the beginning of the episode. Rian Johnson has stated that he has approved the subtitle of A Knives Out Mystery, but he would like to rename the series and add a Benoit Blanc mystery as subtitles to future installments. So maybe now that they've finished up with the 2-film Netflix deal, to make this and this, maybe now he has the bargaining chip to be like, I will make another one for you as long as you give me money and get rid of that goddamn Knives Out mystery subtitle, which makes no fucking sense, you stupid idiot motherfuckers. I'm sure that went through, focus groups where, the dumbest motherfuckers are like, who's Benoit who? Benoit what? Like, man.
Will the real Benoit please stand up?
And also another fun fact, which sort of ties in, the Jeremy Renner's likeness was featured in Glass Onion as on a bottle of hot sauce. It was Jeremy Renner's hot sauce was part of the plot, and so it's really fun to see Jeremy Renner in this. And this is his first major film production since he nearly died.
Got ran over by a goddamn snowplow.
When he got hit by that snowplow, that was January of 2023, and obviously went through hell and back with surgeries and stuff, and he looks good. I mean, he looks like Jeremy. He seems to be doing okay, which is pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
Pretty remarkable. Have I sufficiently filled in the fun facts section? Yes. with a couple of fun facts? Thanks, Wikipedia. Did me a solid. Let me just quickly scan IMDb trivia just to see if there's anything really, really fun and spicy in there. Some plot things about things that happened in the movie. We're not going to do that. 21 more. Oh, that's too many. Oh, it has the thing about Jeremy Renner's first movie. All right, we've got crossover. Wikipedia and IMDb trivia are linking up. I think it was meant to be. That's what it was. All right. With that said, we don't have a box office breakdown for this because, well, it hasn't been out very long. It did start in theaters November 26th, but I feel like the numbers, as they were with Frankenstein, aren't really reported.
We can look at the what's it called.
Yeah, how's it doing? I mean, I think it was it had the little top 10 little thing when I watched it on Netflix a couple days ago, a few days ago. So yeah, if you can, that could be your fun. That's your contribution to the fun fact. If you can tell me how it's performing, if there's any sort of metrics to indicate that. But
well, it looks like for streaming, it has not made the top 10 on the Nielsen.
Okay,
the Nielsen deal.
All right.
It is top 10 right now is, well, I don't need to go over top 10, but the number 1 is Stranger Things. Number 2 is Frankenstein. Number 3 is Beast in Me. Hasn't made top 10. If you look at,
do we know when that's updated? Because I wonder if like.
You're right. Good call. We
might not have the full data set from like the first.
We
week.
Definitely don't. Good call.
Okay.
November 10th through November 16th. So it's not even out yet.
Okay, I gotcha. All right. Well, I think again we know somewhat because Netflix does their own internal top 10 that they show up, and obviously this is going to be on the front page regardless of things because it's a big movie. They spent lots of money to have the rights to and make. Yeah, maybe we'll have some clarity on that in the future. Some data points that suggest how well this is performing relative to Glass Onion, maybe. But either way, I know people are talking about it. We're talking about it. We saw it.
About it.
So let's talk about it. Let's do some non-spoilers for Wake Up Dead Man. What did you think of it?
The camera work in this movie is amazing.
I kind of felt like I feel like Rian Johnson's stepping up his game a little bit.
Yeah,
I think it felt like he was definitely trying to be a bit more creative, and I think we got a decent amount of that in The Last Jedi, I'll say, but I feel like compared to its predecessors in Knives Out and Glass Onion, this felt very. It felt like a little bit of a step up, in terms of just creativity.
It's really awesome how they make one setting. I mean, I guess it's not technically one setting, but it's like one property.
But it is. It's relatively contained. Most good 2/3 of this movie are in a church, right? And maybe a few different rooms within the church, but the church.
And we're just capturing it from unique angles. We're capturing it could be something as simple as somebody moving around, and
sure,
and it's exciting to watch. The energy behind the camera is outstanding. The attention to detail is really great too. Just really, I don't know, just really clean camera work. And long shots, like not like long, like sequences of shots, not like big like one takes or anything, but like I'm content to just zoom. I'm gonna stand a mile away.
Yeah, there is one that is just one of the most intense zooms I feel like I've seen. And
it's like, where the fuck are you standing, dude? It just kept going.
Well, I'm also going. Like, is the lens capable of doing that? Is there a clever cut somewhere in here to like keep the? I'm like, that's incredible. I mean, obviously, I've got like fucking telescopes that can see a long ass way, but like, man, like. How does this work? This is crazy.
Yeah, definitely some impressive camera work. It's a very striking movie, is what I'll say. It's strikingly shot. Agree. And you can't help but kind of pay attention to it. I really like the use of lighting in this movie. Okay. I thought it was the lighting in this movie kind of helped convey, it helped with the characterization of its characters and stuff. You know what I mean? Or perhaps maybe the lighting was the Lord. I don't know. But it's the lighting itself is almost like a character in its own. I thought that was really cool. And I really like the religious kind of. It's not really undertones. I mean, but it's like the whole thing of this movie is that it's a
It doesn't steer away from that. It takes place in the church
of the movie. You know what I mean? So but I like the angle. I like the angle of it. Like if we're going to compare it with anything, I mean, you have the last what's the mustache guy?
Poirot.
Poirot was the horror movie, kind of supernatural deal.
Right, yeah.
This is kind of the same vibes, just like mastercraft. You know what I mean? It's almost like. And no offense to Kenneth
Branagh,
right?
Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah, no offense. But, I don't mean this offensively, but it's like
This is Rian Johnson's genre. He's
Rian Johnson set the master class, and then Kenneth watched it. And he's like, okay, let me do my thing, and I can submit it for like a test, And it's like, okay, well, you did okay. Andrew fell asleep.
Yeah,
We'll
give him a B minus. Like, hey man, like it's clear that you put some effort in. It could be better. It could be a lot worse. So we'll give you a nice.
But this is what you're striving for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that. I think it's
Death of the Nile probably more in the CD range. I should clarify. The other two were a bit better.
Sure.
Just to make that clear.
It's a wildly entertaining movie. It's really good. The characters are just like oozing charisma.
Helps to have a star-studded cast to lead the way,
But they all got their meat, you know what I mean? There's a backstory to every character, and that's what makes the genre so compelling. Is it Colonel Mustard in the library with the fucking wrench? Well, Colonel Mustard was he was fixing the. It's just all sorts of shit, right? Everybody's got their own backstory, and it's fun and it's engaging to watch because you're invested in every character. Why they're there. Why they're doing what they're doing. It helps,
and everyone's a suspect. Like
right.
If you give a little nugget on each character, then they're included for some reason. They're going to have some significance, some relevance. Maybe they're just a red herring. Maybe, or maybe they're there for a very particular reason. I don't know.
Now, I do think, I can't remember quite how elaborate. I feel like the first Knives Out was fairly elaborate. For some reason, I can't remember Glass Onion's thing.
Glass Onion is tough because, that was kind of post-COVID, and then the movie dealt with COVID a little bit too, because they all get whisked off to the private island where they don't have to worry about such things. I kind of feel like... I do think Glass Onion was definitely complicated. As I recall, there's a twin situation, which is maybe not entirely clear from the start. But I feel like, and Ann and I were talking about this, like I feel like a lot of the plotting of Glass Onion, it was not as memorable in some ways, and I think for me it's symptomatic of like just when it came out.
Yeah, I can't remember it.
Whereas Knives Out was kind of that out of nowhere, like holy fuck, this movie's incredible, and so I think it has that. It's a little bit more memorable, I think, because it was it's not the first whodunit movie in existence, but it's the thing that started this franchise, with Rian Johnson's series of whodunits now. So yeah, I do think Glass Onion definitely had some complex things going on, but they all do. They're all pretty intricate mysteries that I think one of the key things, and I think it's true of Glass Onion, I think it's true of definitely Knives Out, is like they're movies that make sense on a second pass. Like a lot of movies like this, you kind of wonder if it holds up once the mystery is solved, and I think that these are movies that are very well thought out and very well constructed. Facts are not hidden from you. Oftentimes facts are hidden in plain sight, and you don't know the full context for it, or you don't know, or there's some little detail that you're overlooking, but it's right there in front of you if you know where to look, who to look at. And all three of them, I think, have had that sort of aspect to them, where it's just like the pieces are there, you can put them together, or if you're able to. I didn't for this one, I'll say, not fully anyway. But that's the kind of movies they are. Is like the attention to detail is a big component to them working. And
they're fun. Oh, it's just so fun to watch.
And they're fun. They're relentlessly entertaining at the same time. It's not just let me beat you over the head with here's we got this piece, we got this character, we got it's not that. It is that in some ways, but it's fun. It's fun.
Rich.
It's funny. I think the dialogue is sharp. It's witty. It's funny. It's timely. It's relevant. Especially. Religious stuff here, but also I think,
right.
Other things, that certainly feel timely, in terms of like what sorts of things come up, so.
Yeah, we can get into the spoilers. It's what's cool though?
What's cool, man?
I'll tell you what's cool.
Okay.
Is, even with like the political stuff that's, seems, topical, it's like relevant. I really, really feel like there's the two perspectives and like within like how people worship. You know what I mean? You had the real dogmatic kind of like just you're gonna burn in hell kind of people, and then you have the other people. It's like when's the last time you talked about Jesus? And that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and that's center stage here with our two main priest characters, and kind of the way that they navigate that is definitely different from each other, and that's certainly a big point that's explored.
Yeah,
in this movie, so.
I mean, I know for a fact that those two separate approaches. You hear about it all the time within the Catholic Church, but this is about a Catholic church, but it also happens. It happened most recently that I know of within the Methodist Church, and so it's the less. The reason why certain characters are doing certain things or acting a particular way, I think, are hopefully different, than what happens in real life, but
yeah,
but I think the arguments are still there with how people approach their faith and that sort of thing, the doctrine that they're using and stuff. So I think it's I don't know. I think it's an interesting exploration of religion,
So, no, it's definitely, and it doesn't shy away from it. It makes it, like I said, center stage. It's a huge component of it. Without, I think, I think it handles it pretty gracefully. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a devout Christian, I'll say. I mean, so I can't really speak to, if you're very religious, if this is going to offend you. But my sense is it wasn't really. I don't know. I think it handled it fairly well. I think, and I think a relatively realistic fashion of, kind of pitting, like, said, the two maybe styles against each other without necessarily, I think one feels a bit more graceful, I would say, but like, at the same time, like, obviously, I think it handles it well enough that like it works, I think, in the context of the movie. So
the two sides are, I wouldn't say one side's really a caricature, but the other one is a caricature. You know what I mean? So
yes, a bit more bombastic and
that's right, over the top loud and just on the nose,
loud,
and just,
boisterous. Yes,
so it just adds texture to the film. I don't think
another great Josh Brolin performance.
Yes,
he's having a good year. He's crushing it.
This tennis player is also in a movie.
Yes.
Coming out that also looks really good too.
Okay, yeah.
It's the Spielberg movie.
The Spielberg one. We just got a teaser for that.
He's killing it in these movies, dude. I like this actor a lot.
Josh O'Connor. He's having a great run of it. Really, I guess Challenger's on, but he's probably, I think he's been doing some other stuff. He was in The Crown, which is something I watched.
Blind
talked
spot
about
there.
A couple of years ago. Played Charles, who King Charles, we should say now. He's big role in Challengers. This and now a lead or lead-ish or co-lead role in a Spielberg movie. Like and he's been great in everything. He's been really good in everything. So.
Seems like a real authentic. He's a real authentic character. Seems like just authentic actor.
Yeah, very good, and I think a very different role here from Challengers as like the biggest comparison that I can make. Well, I guess to The Crown as well. I mean, very just different all around. Definitely good range, but very charismatic. I think really really good here. As is everyone. I mean. Daniel Craig, of course, is he's having a grand old time, and it's just a joy to get to hang out with Benoit Blanc for 2+ hours. It has been 2 times prior to this. It continues to be for the third go around as well. And I do think the other supporting players here. I think Glenn Close is really good in this. Particularly, but everyone I thought was quite good. I would say Daniel Craig, Josh O'Connor, Glenn Close, and Josh Brolin were kind of the standouts for me. I guess they're kind of the 4 top builds, so maybe that's unfair. I think they probably have some of the more prominent roles overall. But
I thought the attorney was a good actress. She did really good.
Okay, yeah, Kerry Washington.
Yeah,
she's good. No, I mean all around though. I think everyone was quite good, really good. Even Jeffrey Wright, who he's not in this as much as we would like to see Jeffrey Wright in things. Just put him in every scene, it'd be fine. Probably
still
makes
killed
the movie
it.
better. It was great. I think just top to bottom, and I think that's so much fun about these movies is like that. I mean, the first Knives Out started with obviously a stellar cast. But because it was so successful, it opens up the opportunity for Rian Johnson to call anyone up and be like, "Hey, you want to be in a movie and hang out with Daniel Craig for a month or two?" And it's like,
hell yeah,
I might do that for free. I mean, hopefully they're all getting paid, and I'm sure they all getting paid handsomely. But like, what a killer role to have. You know what I mean? Like that's a really, I guess sometimes particularly could be a killer role, if you're the person who done it. But yeah, no, I enjoy these movies. I guess just transitioning into my more general thoughts overall. They're just so much fun to watch. The mystery when it plays out is fun. The setting is always really interesting, and I like that. Knives Out had that, like just great old style house, and they did so much with that in terms of the production design. And then Glass Onion is on this beautiful private island with this crazy glass house, which is really, really interesting in and of itself. And then you kind of bring it back to something more akin to the Knives Out house here with the church, which is gorgeous. It's, as so many churches are, just amazing architecture. As I think Benoit Blanc comments on at one point.
Glad someone shares my enthusiasm about the architecture of the church.
Yeah, we go into it. We are like, well, I don't know. I don't want to lump you in with me. You may disagree, but I can walk into a church and maybe one of the things I am appreciating most is like, man, this place is incredible to look at.
Yeah, I do. It's the same.
Yeah, I think that just the setting of this is really fantastic. And like I said, a good like Glass Onion was a really fun, different change of pace. This being a little bit, I think, smaller scale in a way, felt like a nice kind of change of pace adjustment back from Glass Onion. I thought the mystery was interesting, compelling. I think resolves in a, I want to say, satisfying manner. I mean, I think that is sometimes maybe what could be difficult about these is like, is the answer going to make you happy? Is the answer going to work for you? And I kind of feel like Rian Johnson always crafts it in a way where by the end I'm like, yeah,
I can buy it.
I see the vision. I don't know. It's so creative. I think it's, talked about the actual filmmaking techniques and stuff. The direction of it is really, really impressive. The performances are really impressive, but the writing is just sharp and it's a lot. I mean, it's twisty and it's turny and all that as it should be, but I don't know, just the creativity I always just find really, really impressive. And I think to do it, now in the span of what, six years, 2019 for Knives Out to 2025 now for the third one, I think it's really impressive that he's been able to do 3 movies that, however you stack them up against each other, to me, I think all of them have hit the mark. I think, you might be liable to like have a drop off, a significant drop off. Maybe there's a drop off, in terms of what you like more, if you like this or Glass Onion better. I think that there's definitely, I don't know. To me, there's an expectation like you can't keep doing this. You can't keep getting away with this, but he keeps getting away with it. He's putting the energy in, and I think it's just a testament to I guess how creative he is. So yeah, I'll just say hats off to Rian Johnson. I think for his writing. I mean, I would like to particularly shout out the writing of this film, which just thought that was really well crafted. I don't know that I have much else for non-spoilers. Obviously, it's a plot-heavy film that requires some spoiler talk that we will certainly be getting into before long. But yeah, cast is great, production design is great, just top to bottom. I think it's another hit. Maybe it's money well spent for Netflix. We've now spent many years talking about, holy shit, they spent how much on these fucking movies? But I think money well spent. It's
definitely some of their highest quality stuff. You know what I mean?
Wow, that's true. Yeah, relative to a lot of the other Netflix.
Like if you like, what'd you pay for the other things? You know?
Yeah. But I mean, Netflix subscription between Frankenstein and Wake Up Dead Man,
it's got its value this year.
Yeah, no, we're good. And Stranger Things 5 is happening now too, so there's definitely some bang for the buck for the end of the year. Let's put it that way. Not that I've watched that newer stuff of Stranger Things. I think you'd started it maybe last episode. I don't know. We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. But right now, why don't we get into our recommendation for Wake Up Dead Man, which I guess can't remember exactly how he handled it with Frankenstein. Kind of obviously a similar situation. I think technically there's an option to see it in theaters. Obviously, the easy option for anyone that has Netflix or access to Netflix is to watch it on streaming, or they could just bypass it entirely. I think that's probably not something that we would advise. But what do you think? In terms of recommendation, how does this stack up? Would it have been worth a theater trip? I don't know. What do you think?
This movie would undoubtedly have been worth a theater trip. Not a Screen X theater trip, just a standard theater trip.
Oh, a Screen X theater trip. I would love to hear more about that. Maybe sometime later in this episode. We'll see.
I would say that this it's expertly made and crafted. Like it's just a cut above. Like, I don't know. I feel like definitely a bunch of the Netflix stuff that gets made. But even like for like the year, like it's a top movie of the year. I mean, it's made very, very, very well. It's written very well. It's acted very well. It's tense. It's funny. It's a lot of fun. Like it's kind of the movie that and I'm really bad because I'll praise the theater experience over sitting at home. You know what I mean? But anymore, it's just so hard for me to go to the theater. It's just it's like I'm a bit of a hypocrite because I'm aiding the destruction of the movie theater. But this is a kind of movie that puts asses in seats and drives people to the theater. It's fun it would be very fun to experience this movie in a theater and experience it with 100 other people. I think it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, I think so, and I think that's the way I watched the other two, because I think Glass Onion got some sort of theatrical release. Like I think almost like a month before it went to Netflix. It was like a proper one. Like it was in AMC's and stuff like that. They didn't do the same thing where it's just like we'll put it in 6-screen, indie theaters, 2-screen indie theaters, whatever. Like I don't know. I do kind of miss having that sort of experience with this. I mean, I watched it with Anna, so like we could talk about it and react and stuff like that. But there is definitely a fun component for something like this, very particularly the whodunit to
gather,
to hear oohs and ahs, in response to, oh, this character did what? They said, okay, oh shit. Like there's definitely some big moments in this that I think really would have played really, really well, like cinematically. So I guess I will say, I guess, I am a hypocrite in the same way that I didn't see this in a theater. I just watched it on Netflix myself. I don't regret doing that. And it's the same thing with Frankenstein, where it's just like, you know what? It's okay to watch it at home. If you're already paying for Netflix, or again, you already have access to Netflix in some capacity, like you can't be blamed, if like you've got a pretty good setup at home, like, it's not a bad way to watch the movie. on the other hand, like, having seen the movie, having seen Frankenstein, having seen this movie, it's like, yeah, no, this movie was good enough that I think it absolutely would have benefited from the theatrical experience. And I think had it been something that was included in A-list, had it been put in an AMC, I probably would have chosen to watch it in an AMC as opposed to watching it on Netflix first. And it would have been really cool to watch it 3 weeks ago in AMC and then have it drop on Netflix now and be like, I might watch it again. I might have been able to watch it twice before, this, we recorded this episode just because I could, because it was easy enough to do so. So I certainly don't begrudge anyone that chooses the same path as us and just watches this on Netflix at home. I think that's a completely understandable and valid and perhaps intended way to watch it based on the way they rolled it out. But yeah, I think that, if you're game, if you have it as a viable option near you, I think that this movie quality wise is good enough to warrant a theater recommendation
for sure.
Assuming that I guess one built-in advantage, perhaps theoretically, the people seeing this movie in theaters probably actually want to see this movie in theaters, and they are not likely to be fuckheads. You know what I mean? Like, I could see a movie like this being marred by cell phones and whatever, people talking in the movie, like that would
ruin it.
You don't have to deal with that shit at home. You want to talk, you pause, you need to go pee, you don't have to hold it, you can pause. Like there is definitely a beauty in being able to watch things at home that is not possible with a theater experience. But the theater experience is still kind of like where the magic happens, it is still, generally speaking, the most pristine version of the movie that you could possibly see, and you're seeing it the way it's intended, start to finish, with no potty breaks, with glorious surround sound, big ass screen and stuff like that. So I think if you can do it that way, go for it. But I think the bottom line is watch this movie, especially if you liked either Knives Out or Glass Onion. I've seen people, maybe I said this already a little bit, but are less high on Glass Onion relative to Knives Out, which I think is fine, fair enough.
Yeah.
I think if you unless you strongly disliked either or both of those, or I think if you strongly disliked both of those, I don't know that this is going to change your tune, but I think if you had any sort of enjoyment in either of those prior films, Rian Johnson's delivered another banger. This is not the traditional third film in a trilogy with the noticeable dip in quality. I think if anything, it's maybe a little bit above number two in some ways. So we'll get into that. Maybe we'll do a loose rankings if we can think about it, although that would require you to revisit Glass Onion, which it sounds like you don't have a ton of memory of, but maybe that will inform rankings. I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's
why
fair.
don't we do some spoilers? Why don't we do full spoilers? We're going to spoil the fuck out of Whodunit and Wake Up Dead Man.
Don't listen to this if you haven't watched it yet.
Don't listen to this if you haven't watched it yet. I cannot believe that it was Colonel Mustard that fucking did it. I cannot believe he did it with the lead pipe and the study. I cannot believe it. I thought it was going to be Professor Plum. I really did.
Yeah.
I really did. What I will say is I cannot believe a third Avenger has committed a murder. A third Avenger. Chris Evans, what have you done in Knives Out? Sort of cheating. Edward Norton, what have you done in Glass Onion? You're still the Hulk. You're still the Hulk in some ways.
In my heart.
Jeremy, what are you doing, Jeremy, man? What are you doing here? What are you doing, Hawkeye? So anyway, I said this to Anna yesterday. I was like, have you noticed that, obviously there are other people involved besides Jeremy Renner in this. We'll, I'm sure, talk about team momentarily, effort. But team effort, a little bit of a team effort. It might have been a little bit of a team effort, and the other ones I can't fully recall exactly. But is it a coincidence that we've now had three sort of Avengers? Again, Edward Norton's kind of cheating. But is it Rian Johnson trying to send us a subliminal message about how much he doesn't really like the Avengers? Or is he, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I really don't know what to make of it. Is it just coincidence? Probably not. It can't be. Couldn't possibly be that. I don't know, but it is interesting. I said I made this connection to Anna yesterday, and then I woke up and saw a post on Reddit about the same thing, and it's like, obviously
you're not alone.
Obviously, I'm not alone. But I was like, damn it, I really wanted to be like the first one to make this joke. Like I wanted to have made this joke on this podcast without having already seen it on the internet. I don't want to parrot other thoughts, but I'm making it clear. I did think of it independently, not the first one, or the only one to think of it though. Anyway, spoilers. What do you got here? What do you want to talk about?
So I thought all along.
Is this your working theory? Like how you thought it was going to go down? Yeah.
Well, I thought that I thought it was going to be the Thomas Hayden Church.
Okay.
I thought it was, because he loved that he was just head over heels for that lady, and then homie walks out of that room and he's like, oh, it's like, oh man, are they having an affair? Yeah.
Yeah. Right, because that's so funny because it's like. And that's a really interesting scene where Josh Brolin like comes out of there, and you're like,
he's like stumbling. He's like having.
And I had the same thought at the time. I was just like, have they desecrated this church? And I forgot about that scene until it gets paid off and revisited later in the movie about like what
they were talking about.
The confession. I guess the confession is what happens, and that's why he's so fucking stunned about this lost wealth or whatever. That was really interesting, and I think that's a solid theory. I did think I was like, Glenn Close is definitely involved in some way. She's something going on with her that like she's doing something untoward. I don't know what her involvement is, how she's doing it, what the motive is, why, all that. I definitely didn't put all the pieces together. I'll just say that right now. I did not put the pieces together.
It got pretty deep. It got pretty deep there, and then by the end of the movie, we've got all sorts of shit going crazy, at the end of it, Yeah. So it was already kind of like we got like remote control blood spurt.
Right. Yeah. Well, right. Because you've got a sort of plan for this, and then the plan kind of goes awry a little bit. Right.
Yeah.
And so they kind of improvise a little bit, and then things kind of just get all sorts of fucked up. And like I feel like it's like a domino effect of like just things happening from like the things not quite going to the way they initially planned it. Because it's what Glenn Close and the
doctor
and Jeremy Renner, the doctor. They kind of plan this thing, right? And there's like you said, the blood spurt thing, the thing. Apparently, and this is one of those things I saw, like a screen capture of like the wolf's head or whatever, the devil's head lamp thing is like already sewn in, and you can kind of see it when Josh Brolin is just like in that scene before he actually dies.
Right.
I don't know. It's cool.
But you're not looking at it.
You're not looking at it, and it kind of blends in. It's the same color as like the garment that he's wearing.
And they even did the photo thing. When they're in the bar and they have the picture, and it's like, hey, take a look at this picture.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was cool.
And they do it like 9 times. And the guy's like, yeah, it's the bag. And he goes over and picks up the bag. Hey, the doc's here.
Right.
But it wasn't the bag.
Right. We were distracted by the bag.
It was the lamp.
It's clever filmmaking. It's there if you're looking at different part of the frame that, you're distracted. There was like a similar like little bit in Glass Onion where there's like a glass swap or something like that, where it's like it happens in frame,
that now.
But your eyes are drawn to a different part of the frame. So unless you know to look for it, or you're shown that point later in the movie and it's like the same thing, then you don't really see it. It's just hidden in plain sight, which is really, really, really fun,
That's
clever
cool.
filmmaking. Yeah. So I'm trying to remember. There's a complicated web of events that definitely transpire in this, and I'm trying to remember exactly the initial plot between is it Martha? Is that her name? Martha.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly.
Martha and Webb. Is his name Webb? Or what's the
Nat Sharp is the doctor. Wicks. Oh, Wicks is the
Wicks. That's it.
Monsignor.
Monsignor Wicks.
Monsignor Wicks. That's right.
I masturbated with my hand upside down.
Oh, then the handshake. Oh man. Oh God. The back and forth there was incredible. Just great actors. Just, oh man, great acting. So good. So
a lot of
good.
Fun. Josh Brolin is just
he's a magnetic dude. I mean, he's like intimidating and like scary in this, in like a, sort of crazy religious sort of way, but just like perfectly cast for this type of character.
Definitely.
I just felt like even the construction of like the where he gets up to give his sermons and stuff like that. Just I don't know. It's all so kind of commanding and like domineering and like just I don't know. Feels
pretty
really
awesome.
Feel really like perfect for the character and for kind of setting up this whole thing. Yeah, I mean, I think my one thing that I probably didn't love overall, I felt like here's what I'll say. I feel like, like Daniel Craig's incredible, Benoit Blanc's incredible. Okay. In each of these movies, we've had like the companion, who's like kind of working in tandem with Blanc, right? So you had Ana de Armas and Knives Out. You had Janelle Monáe and Glass Onion, and then here you have Josh O'Connor. And I thought Josh O'Connor's Judd was incredible. I thought those two together were incredible, and I really, really liked him as like a companion, if you will, for this. And I thought he was outstanding. And like I said, I really liked Glenn Close, and I really liked Josh Brolin. And I liked the rest of the cast, but I didn't think that their integration was done as well as the supporting cast in the other movies. Like Knives Out, I think almost had an easy way of doing it because they were all kind of like family.
Right.
Glass Onion had, I think they maybe were just like more entertaining. Like obviously they were all kind of douchebags and like, assholes and shitty people was kind of the point. But like, I don't know, I felt like their actual involvement and reasonings for being there made sense. Here, I think some of them had their kind of points, and I think all the actors were good. It's not a criticism of them in any way, but I just kind of felt like the overall execution of like this character's role is this kind of felt like, I don't know, there either could have been more, and it's not that even that there needed to be more, but I think it's just a tough symptom of like the fact that you're casting so many incredible people, you kind of expect them all to have some sort of major component. And they each contribute, like they're there for a very important reason. But I feel like Andrew Scott's character, who's like the writer, he's there, he's funny, he's the character is kind of interesting and stuff. But I didn't feel like he had a huge payoff in terms of like his involvement in the plot. Certainly as compared to someone like Jeremy Renner's character. So I don't know. Again, that's my like one thing where it's just like I kind of felt like there could have been more done with some of those characters, but at the same time, this is already a movie that's creeping on 2.5 hours. And maybe that's part of the joy is like, oh, they cast this person. That's almost a misdirect in and of itself to be like, here's a pretty recognizable actor in a role that like very well could be important to the end game, but maybe isn't as important as you might think.
They,
overall.
And a lot of the like, they're all kind of, they're not really they're definitely not two-dimensional, but they're all, the singular thing that brings them all together is they're mostly all sycophants. You know what I mean? They're all just...
Right, their connection to the Monsignor, and they each have their motivations for why, they're here, whether it's, like Kaylee Spaney's character has, a disability, like, and she's turned to religion as healing, for its healing powers. I mean, they're all kind of funny. I mean, like obviously the John Goodman, Big Lebowski thing was very funny. The good payoff
the bait off at the end.
I got a good chuckle there. Like they're all their connection there was interesting. I mean, Jeremy Renner's character is having a rough go of things, with his wife leaving him. Daryl McCormick played the son / brother, I guess, because there's some shenanigans in terms of his parentage and stuff, and he's kind of a right wing.
The bit where he just goes on and on and on and on and on about all the things that he's tried.
Oh yeah,
hilarious.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I mean it's a movie that's not afraid to throw in some incisive political commentary where it
makes sense. Where
it makes sense. It's not the focal point, but it's definitely. I mean, I think in the way that Glass Onion very much was like hit COVID head on. Like most movies, most TV shows were just like, this exists in a world where COVID didn't happen, and then everyone's like, you know what, that's fine. Glass Onion kind of dealt with it head on in an interesting sort of way, where it's just like, yeah, let's deal with it. And then Kate Hudson's character is wearing a mask with holes in it. It's just like, Jesus fucking Christ, these fucking people. Like it's handled in a funny, deaf sort of way that like in non-Rian Johnson hands could come across as like, oh God, and it is very much that, where it's just like, oh boy. But it is funny. It is definitely funny. It's definitely,
it's handled
in the right way.
Yeah.
It's handled in the right way for sure. Yeah, I mean, spoiler wise, again, I mean, I guess we could dissect the entire plot. I don't know how much fun that would be.
I don't necessarily think we need
running
to.
in circles. I want to watch this again, I will say.
Yeah, I want to see if I pick up on
see if I pick up on things. I definitely could benefit from it, especially because it was pretty late by the time we wrapped it up. So I feel like I could benefit from a second viewing. I imagine I would enjoy that. Yeah, maybe before a year in review episode, maybe I'll give this a second viewing. Obviously, there's lots of other things I do want to watch too, but I could see it standing to benefit from that. But yeah, was there any other moments that you can think of in terms of spoilers? I don't know. I feel like we're not doing a whole lot here, but again, it's a movie that sort of lives and dies by the plot, and I think that even if I can't spend 5 minutes summarizing it, like I felt satisfied by it. Like I felt like the twists and turns paid off. I mean, there's some big moments. I guess I have some moments that I'll say in a second, but I asked the question, so I'll leave it for you to answer.
The funny moment, like I enjoyed the bit where he rambles on about all the stuff that he's tried to try to make it in the political atmosphere, or the political sphere. I think that what else do I think? What else am I thinking of? The every time Josh Brolin talked, it got cloudy, and every time Judd talked, the sun was shining, and then eventually the sun was shining on Benoit Blanc, and
right. Yeah.
Like anytime there was someone showed grace or what have you, the sun was shining on him. It's like, oh, is that
some poetic shit, man?
Yeah, it's good. You know what I mean? Like you can, it's not so like deep. It's a struggle to pick. Like you're gonna pick it up on your third time viewing. Like you can pick it up on the first time viewing. You know what I mean? It's pretty there, but still good though. It's just a good layered touch.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the way that they introduced everybody. They did it very organically. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because I mean, you have a lot of characters, and you got a lot of ground to cover, and not so long to cover it. And it made everybody. I think even if they didn't, I agree with you that even if they didn't contribute a whole lot to like the meat and potatoes of the plot. I think that they were interesting.
They still contributed in some way to your enjoyment of the film, I think. My enjoyment of the film as well.
Exactly.
Like they weren't a total waste. I just kind of felt like, oh, I wanted more there, or I thought there was going to be more there. Like it's almost like an expectations things in some way where, again, it's like, oh, they cast that actor and I thought they, we could have done more.
Part of the, it's part of, like you say, it's part of the whodunit. Because some of just that person being there, that
short of it just being a Murder on the Orient Express situation, like, well, they can't all have done it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So inherently there has to be some, some character that is just there and is, maybe they contribute to the puzzle in some way, but they're not the key, they're not the final piece to the puzzle or anything like that. So yeah, right. And I think that totally makes sense. So I'm running through some like bigger moments, and I will say the way that this film earns its title, I thought all that stuff was fucking like really, really cool. How it kind of went in that direction of, they have this, was it the mausoleum or whatever, where you can only open it from the inside.
Oh yeah.
And like the way that it kind of like gradually shows you, what seems to be Wicks, rising from the dead and then exiting that. And like, it's kind of just like, I thought it was really cool to watch that. And, and it's like, well, I mean, I don't think they're going to take this in a supernatural direction. That would be a bit of a jump from the first two movies. Like they're gonna Scooby Dooby Doo this shit, where there's always an explanation. There's always an explanation, under except for I guess Zombie Island and a couple of the some other Scooby-Doo things where it's just like the big twist is, oh no, it actually is for fucking realsies supernatural. The classic Scooby-Doo of it all is there's always some guy under that mask, and he's going to be pissed at those meddling kids because he would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for them, and their dog too. Sometimes Scrappy's involved. We love a good Scrappy appearance. Let me at him. Yeah, no, I thought that was really, really satisfying. Like those moments were like really cool, like to see like the way that was shot of, what I guess was technically Samson, I guess, getting out of there, being followed by Judd, and then Judd slips and then he goes off into this own little side, bush, and we don't know exactly what happened in there, but then Samson's dead, and Judd thinks, shit, did I do that? I'm like, I don't know. I punch people sometimes.
I must have done it. Yeah.
Like who else could have done this? I think all that was just really, really well done. And then there's, like you get to the point where like you end up in Jeremy Renner's basement, and there's like fucking vat of acid, like a tub of acid and shit. And it's like just like fucking skeletons, like metal shit. And I'm like, oh man, this film was going, this is crazy shit right here.
At first, I thought that was his wife in the bottom of the tub.
I had that thought when they like the first when they start to go to that basement. I was like, oh no,
he murdered his wife.
There's gonna be some. There's gonna be some dark shit in this basement. I had the same thought, and
wasn't the case.
That wasn't the case. That would have been an interesting movie too, I think, but that was not the case. That is not where this went. But yeah. Yeah, no, some really just great moments. The backstory too with the Wix's mom, right? She's a whore and a harlot and all that, and the way the red soaked color palette for the way that was shot was cool, and it's like but
that blood moon,
yeah, it was badass, and she's like crazy and she's destroying the church, but well, turns out she's doing it for a particular reason. I don't know. Just the way it all came together was just, I don't know. It was chef's kiss, I think, overall.
For sure.
So
I agree.
Probably other moments I could, think about and talk about, but I feel better. I feel like I've now said my piece more in spoilers of like those are the big things that stood out to me. Good satisfying resolution, good satisfying ending. Judd gets to take over the church, and it'll be a little sunnier in that town. I think moving forward would be my guess. So
that was hilarious. Homie standing on that pulpit and just like berating people until they fucking left.
Yeah, it's a test of their character to resolve. Yeah, that was good. Josh Brolin plays he plays a good asshole, that's for sure.
It's funny, we on a brief side note.
Sure.
I watched the first 300 last night.
Did you know?
It's like it's like I don't know, it's like 10:30. It's like I might be able to squeeze another one in. But I had drank a bottle of wine for the first 300, and so I said, you know what? I want to watch a little bit of Dune. So I ended up just watching parts of like scrubbing through the highlights of Dune.
Brutal.
Yeah, Josh Brolin's just a beast, dude. I really enjoy Josh Brolin. We almost watched Goonies the other night, which I think has Josh Brolin in it when he's a kid.
That's good. Classic. Yeah, young man Josh Brolin, that's for sure. Yeah.
But I didn't. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, right. Yes, well, good stuff. Good stuff. This movie.
Good stuff. What do you think? Do you think this? Do you have a loose rankings of where this slots in between Knives Out and Glass Onion? Any strong feelings on that?
Yeah, 1, 3, 2.
Okay.
I think is the way I feel about it. Pretty solidly. I think this one could venture into 1 territory. But 1's kind of special in the sense that it really
it's the first one that really, like it's what it walked so that these could run, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, but I think
and I feel like it was almost entirely shot within the around the home.
Right?
It
was it very much so. Like the production design was a big part. I think there's like one point where there's like a little bit of a car chase that goes through the town, but like 85% of that movie is just like maximizing the production design of this fucking awesome old house, and doing it in a really, really creative fashion. So yeah. I kind of want to revisit both Knives Out and Glass Onion after watching this, to be honest.
Yeah, but, same.
I think I'm probably inclined to rank them the same way, 1, 3, 2. Right now, I do want to revisit this to kind of solidify it a little bit more. And I don't know. I think that I would say, even though I put 1, 3, 2, I don't know if I would say solidly. I think they're all like really close to each other.
Yeah, they're all very good movies.
Like I think they're all really, really good. And I think you could have any sort of, there's a lot of things where it's just like, I don't know, like I'm trying to think of like the Dark Knight trilogy, I guess, where it's just like, if someone tells me that The Dark Knight Rises is their favorite of the 3, I might like be like, really?
Yeah, look at him sideways. Ben at work likes to do this shit to me. It's like, who's that guy in that action movie during Christmas time? Like, and people argue about it. I'm like, you're talking about Braveheart? You're talking about Bruce Willis? It's like, yeah, Bruce Willis fucking sucks. Like, what the... I think he calls it rage baiting.
Sir. Yes, definitely rage bait.
He does it with everything, like all day.
Yeah. I guess maybe a better example, because The Dark Knight Rises is not a bad movie, but it's like Star Wars. If you tell me Attack of the Clones is your favorite Star Wars movie,
he does it all the time with the first 3 movies.
I'll either assume you're number one, a troll, or if you are somehow being serious, then I know to never trust your opinion on anything and ever, just period. So point being, if you told me I think Glass Onion's the best of these movies, I'd be like, yeah, sure. Like I'm not gonna like fight you on that. Like I don't know that I agree, but I also don't know that I agree strongly enough that I would even have a debate. I'd be like, honestly, fair. Like I really like Glass Onion. I think it does a lot really, really well, and I think there's a lot to appreciate about that movie. And I feel that way about all 3 of these movies. So the fact that there is so much parity for me between these 3 is, for Rian Johnson, again, to put these 3 out, and also like, he did Poker Face, a couple seasons of that he's worked on, but like directing wise, he's done these 3 movies back to back to back. And like,
right.
I don't know, a lot of like, even like Nolan for the Dark Knight trilogy, he'd like spell each one with something else. You know what I mean? Like, so for him to just kind of keep going back to this well and not be burnt out on it. Obviously money talks, and I'm sure that, it looks a little, I'm sure his bank accounts are looking pretty good as a result of all this, but I think to have the spark of creativity and the vision to execute these 3 movies at such a high level is just really, really impressive. Enough that even the staunchest Last Jedi haters, maybe you're like, oh, maybe this Rian Johnson guy's not so bad. He just probably thinks Attack of the Clones is his favorite Star Wars movie. A fucking idiot. So there you have it. Wake up, Dead Man. Streaming on Netflix. Check it out. We're going to see it in theater.
Hey.
So before I guess we'll do catching up now. We'll do catching up. But I think I'm going to specifically ask that we start by talking about the episode that was not to be last week, where we were going to cover Wicked for Good. We didn't cover the first movie. I think we maybe had the idea that we'll come back around. You were late to the party for the first one. I think it was a pleasant surprise for both of us. Let's go see the second one in theaters, do an episode on it, then we can kind of, talk about the first one in that capacity, how the second one wraps up the story and all that. We had the plan. We had the right plan. We were ready to go. It was going to happen. And we both made theater trips to see Wicked for Good. I saw it and didn't have any issues, but didn't work out so well on that end. So I'm gonna pass the microphone off to you. But figuratively, you have your own to talk into. But what the hell happened here? What happened? What's the story? What's the scoop? What's the saga?
Sarah and I decided we would have a long overdue date night.
Okay, right. That sounds Wicked for Good. Right, good.
So we got babysitters.
Date night candidate. Sure.
We had babysitters, and we went to Cooper's Hawk.
Nice.
We had some food,
probably nice dinner, some wine.
We hadn't been in exactly. We went. We hadn't been in months. And we hadn't been in months because we just had Nolan and everything else, So we got there. We left with a full case of wine, which is awesome. And the food was excellent. I had a fillet with lobster, and it was super freaking
surf
good.
And turf. Love it.
And very nice. And night's off to a great start.
All right. What could go wrong?
For Christmas, I wanted to get Sarah a new couch. The couch has been through the ringer the past couple years, and it was pretty well worn and beat up, and so I had to get rid of the comfy couch. So we went to the furniture store, or we were going to go to the furniture store, is the way it was. We were going to go to the furniture store and then the movies, and something happened with our babysitter, and which was Sarah's mom, and so we went over to their house, and she says, "Well, listen, I'll just take the kids over. I'll take the kids over to your house, and you guys can go to the movies." So that's what happened. So we ended up recovering. Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of a mishap at the house, and we thought we weren't going to be able to go, but then we ended up going. So we went to the movie theaters, and we got up there. We were a little early because we didn't go furniture shopping or this or that. So we got another glass of wine, and then we went into the movie theater. Pumped.
Everything seems good so far. I mean, it sounds like a little snafu, but movie watching seems to be going off without a hitch.
We're here for it. It is a little late. It is at like 9:30.
All right, a little bit of wine could be liable.
I got to work. I got to work in the morning. Worst case scenario, okay.
Yeah,
if I doze off,
you're taking a snooze. You'll be fine. You'll get it. It'll be fine.
Exactly. Anyways, so the movie starts. Trailers go off without a plan, and everything's great. And then the movie starts, and it's on the walls. The projector, it's projecting. There's two projectors on each wall. And we're sitting on the far right side of the theater.
Okay, so you're close to one of the walls then?
We're close to one of the walls. I have no right eye.
Literally.
So I see,
for anyone that doesn't know, that's a literal statement.
Yeah, it's a literal statement. It's gone. So I see I see 1/3 of the image that or 2/3 of the image that I'm supposed to be seeing. And so I'm like, fuck, what the fuck is this? That's my first initial thought is, what the fuck have I done? What is this? And say, listen,
why are there walls with extra images being projected on them? What the fuck?
Yeah, so I said, listen, I look behind me and there's nobody behind me. Nobody around us. So I said, listen, we need to move. We need to get centered up because it's everything. We're in the back of the theater, so we went to the B and B theaters, because it's closer to where the kids were at.
Right. Okay.
And typically it's the most convenient theater to go to. And they have they do the eating and stuff at the top, and then everybody's on the bottom, so it's like a tiered kind of theater deal. And so we're sitting up at the top, and we're beyond the side screens. I don't know if I'm describing this clearly. So like if I was sitting in the middle of the auditorium, I would be surrounded by imagery.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm far enough back to where it looks like it's boxed, right? I see images on the side, and I see the center screen. So I'm looking at it, and it looks like there's 90-degree angles. It's not immersive at all, is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
So we're sitting all the way back. This movie, because like she's on like a broomstick and shit, she's just like a spinning, and the camera work is very energetic, and it moves a lot, and the screens aren't all the same luminosity, so they're like the two side screens are very dim, where the center screen is very bright, and all this is to say that it's got to be the worst fucking experience I've ever had in a movie theater. I've watched movies with subtitles in the IMAX dome, and I thought that was probably the worst way to see a movie.
Yeah, you gotta fully pan your head left to right, your entire field of vision, just to read a sentence.
Yeah, that was pretty awful. I would say this is worse than that.
Yeah,
this seems like a very, very, very cheap way to try to make an experience. Because what they did was, it's almost like they didn't take I don't know if it's shot in IMAX or if they have an IMAX version of this movie or not. They didn't take a larger format thing and try to move it to like one screen. It's almost as if they took a standard widescreen format, zoomed in, and then spread it across 3 screens.
Yeah,
because there's who's the teacher that's the bad she's working with the Oz,
Madame Morrible, Michelle.
Yes. Yeah, there's sequences where she starts talking, and then it zooms out a little bit, so she's not she's not supposed to be center frame, but she's supposed to be in the fucking frame.
But now she's off.
But like half of her's 90 degrees on cast on the wall.
No. So she's like split between the the bright center screen and the wall. Oh man,
it's fucking terrible.
I mean, I will say I believe you, because you sent a picture, I think, while you were in the theater to Enrique and myself, and I took one look at that. I'm like, oh my god, what is that? Yeah, I found it. You texted, "What have I done?" and it's so interesting because you can, it's clearly you just took this picture in the movie. You're going to jail. Sorry. But you can see
they should go to jail.
Talking about. They should go, everyone involved in making this happen should go to jail. I concur. You can see the difference in the, like I said, the luminosity it's insane. One looks like you got like a fucking Dolby Vision center screen, and then you've got this dull faded piece of shit on the sides. And I guess when I looked at it at first pass, I thought, I don't know if you've seen this, but like the Sphere in Las Vegas, like the thing they've been showing, the Wizard of Oz, and it's this whole thing. It's like the IMAX dome, but it's like even more. And like what they did is they just used AI to extend all the scenes. So like when you look up, it's like the top of Dorothy's house or whatever, like you look around and it looks like shit because it's just AI bullshit that, know, is making a classic movie, perverting a classic movie into bullshit. But like, you kind of understand the conceit of it, right? You kind of understand like what they're going for. And I thought it was something similar to this, where it's just like, well, the middle screen is the whole movie. That's the way it's shot. It's shot in this aspect ratio. You get the full aspect ratio. And then there's they have plates or like CG things that they've added to the side to just extend the scenes to the side. But I can see what you're saying in terms of the way you're describing, where it's like, oh no, it's like the it's like the whole image is now split into an ultra widescreen format, and it's like, yeah, if you shot it that way, maybe that could work. And obviously, I think you need to have some actual bulbs in those side projectors too. But
and maybe not have it
at
not such jarring angles either.
Yeah, it's not a like I am recording and I use an ultra wide monitor and it's curved, but like it doesn't split into three things and then suddenly come at me, in like a fucking almost 90-degree angle. You know what I mean? Like it's not.
Maybe that's okay if you're sitting in like the first 3 rows.
I don't know that it would be, at least not the way it's displayed there. I think the problem is like you were saying, like the way that they're splitting the image doesn't make sense. If you're using it to enhance it, to like make it like more immersive in a way, in the way that like when IMAX shifts ratio, it fills the top and bottom of the screen, you get more picture, and like that picture is coming from somewhere. Usually it's because it's shot with an IMAX camera or in an aspect ratio where you're able to fill that visual, you're able to fill the screen with more visual information that was just captured in camera. Here, unless you're shooting a movie in an ultra-wide format, it's the same thing that it's the problem you run into with the IMAX domes. It's just like, most of the shit is for like fucking aquarium shit, filmed with the fisheye lens. And that's fun, and that's,
that's okay.
Like it's intended to be like looked at this way. When you put, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol up there, which is something I did see in an IMAX dome, and it's just like, this shit was not meant to be warped in this sort of fucked aspect ratio. And that's the same thing with like this thing. And I've heard of this format and I didn't know, but it's Screen X is the thing. I talked about it obviously a little bit earlier, said Screen X. That's what this was. And it's like, obviously you didn't know what you were getting into, I think, is kind of maybe what you explained to me is,
Yeah. So like, if you go to the B&B website and look up showtimes, particularly on the phone, it's probably not this. I hope that it's not this way, at least on the desktop. I hope it's just I hope it's a formatting issue on the phone. You look up the movie theater, you look up the different times and stuff and the different formats that they have.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's the way that it's stacked. I mean, I know what I did now, but in hindsight, I thought, okay, well, they have Screen X. I saw Screen X. I did something I saw, but they had Screen X on a different auditorium or in a different showtime. I didn't think I was getting that showtime.
Okay.
So the website just kind of sucks a little bit, or it's just not formatted for phones. I'm not quite sure. But I know how to navigate it now, so it won't happen again. But
see Screen X run away as fast as possible.
Yeah, like I don't know who that's for. But
I honestly don't know either. Like literally fucking why. I just can't imagine any scenario in which that's actually enhancing your movie-going experience.
I'm not sure. So needless to say, I didn't finish.
Right.
I didn't finish, and to be completely honest, I didn't. It was a struggle. I was so off put with just the visual experience. It actually made me, as I sat there throughout the movie, I actually got nauseous.
Yeah, I think probably particularly with your I guess we'll say limited vision, like this is probably not something that's like literally good for your brain.
It was just and I mean it could have been the terrible experience on top of wine. I don't know.
Wine
I don't think so though. I think I would have been just fine watching a normal fucking movie with
well, yes, I think the wine probably made it worse, but I think that like it would have been bad anyway. So it's
I couldn't even focus on the movie. I think we sat there for like an hour and a half, and that's like, God damn it, I can't handle this anymore. I gotta get the fuck out of here. You can go home. She's like, yeah, I'll go home. I was like, okay, good. So we left. We left early, and I remember a couple songs. I don't remember a whole lot. Like, it was
right.
just
and I think that kind of feeds into this greater thing of like, we could have half-assed an episode last week had the scheduling worked out, and you could have said this exact same thing, and then we could have been in spoilers, and I could have been trying to explain the story of Wicked to you, but like it's just like I don't know. I mean, I do think you, as I recall, you were again pleasantly surprised by the first movie. This is, I would say, kind of more of the same in some ways. I mean, obviously the songs are different, and it's the resolution and the payoff of the story. So, and it's tonally different in some ways because it kind of, the first movie ends on kind of a more dour note, sets up this movie, which kind of picks up from that and kind of carries it through. But it didn't really seem like that was going to be, I don't know, the right way to go about talking about this movie, because it's not really fair to, evaluate a movie on generously speaking, saying that you've watched 2/3 of it, but also, yeah, you quote unquote watched 2/3 of it, but like, did you? You know what I mean? Like,
no,
when you're spending half that time, probably trying to not throw up and also being like, oh my God, what is this? Yeah. I don't know. It just like, yeah. So I think it's for the best that we, tabled that episode, and I think hopefully our listeners will now understand why we did not do that episode, and why we are now talking about it here, and why we don't really have a whole lot to say on it. I think as a collective, right? I mean,
yeah.
I could certainly tell you some things about it, but I think that the right way to handle this for us is it'll come to Peacock or something at some point. It'll come to streaming, and probably the way you watch the first movie is probably the way you'll watch the second movie. You'll watch it at home with Sarah, and maybe you can actually lock into it and experience it the way
I'll
it's
have a better experience
meant to be watched. Not with some bullshit. Let's extend divide the screen into a 270-degree bullshit ass fucking.
It's awful. I don't wish that on anybody. It was
So if anyone's learned anything from this episode, it's don't watch anything in Screen X. It's funny. Like I Googled it and I was just like literally why? Who is this for? Why?
Yeah.
And I did see some people say that like Top Gun was like kind of neat in it, and like F1 was kind of neat in it. It's like, all right, so if you're like an in cockpit thing where you can get like an ultra wide, and I do think part of it too, I don't think those walls are meant to be a quarter as bright.
No, they're not.
Like that your auditorium was fucked. I think this part, like the audio visual experience that was happening in that auditorium is not reflective of what Screen X is supposed to be. I do think it would still be bad and jarring and probably would still be nausea inducing, but I do think you still got a subpar version of this shit ass experience that you're that it is in the first place.
Double down.
Yeah, very unfortunate, but shit happens, man.
That's it.
I'm sorry you went through that. I'm sorry we don't have a chance to really talk about it. I enjoyed it. I think I liked the first one more. But I think For Good is definitely worth watching as the kind of completion of the story. So if you do check it out sometime down the line, we can revisit it. We can revisit it at that point. I think you probably got enough out of your miserable viewing experience, coupled with the fact that you've seen the first one. It was filmed, shot as a two-parter. It's kind of more of the same, and not necessarily in a bad way. I mean,
I was pleasantly surprised with the first one, so I probably enjoyed the second one.
Right. I think anyone that enjoyed the first one is going to find some level of enjoyment out of the second one. I think it's different. It does kind of stand on its own and stand apart. It doesn't really stand on its own. It stands apart. I think tonally. But I don't know. I think there's definitely some enjoyment. I know it's not doing quite as well as the first one did, like financially, but it's still doing pretty well overall. Zootopia is like fucking killing it at the box office. To do a little mini box office breakdown. Should have seen Zootopia too. What were you thinking?
We definitely should have.
We should have seen anything else than not Screen X. That's what it sounds like. So anyway, wicked for good. That's what we have for our listeners at this juncture. I mean, happy to revisit it at some point down the line. But you know, you kind of know I think you kind of know what you're getting, is my honest sense of it. I don't, you know, Ariana's good. Cynthia's great. Jonathan Bailey, really good. Cast is good. Michelle Yeoh and Jeff Goldblum still can't sing. It's kind of the same things as the first one. Kind of the same things. Some bangers in there, some not bangers in there. You know? All right. Well, besides that awful Screen X experience, what have you been up to in the, I guess, now past couple weeks since we had some Brews news and previews action?
Holiday stuff, man. It seems like things are pulling from every direction. We went and bought that. Yep. We found a couch.
You did find the couch. Okay, very good.
And then 2 days later, our washing machine takes a shit. So that's fun. It's like, oh, God damn it,
now on the hunt for a new washing machine now.
Yep. What else happened? I've watched 300. That's cool.
Very interesting. I'm able to talk about it sometime.
Arc Raiders. Been playing Arc Raiders. That's cool.
Okay.
Pretty fun game. And gosh, I really feel like that's really about it. The boys are keeping us busy, and tired. We went to Disney World. That was fun.
Oh yeah, nice. Very nice.
Yeah. I guess that's about it. Oh, Georgia beat Alabama a little while ago.
SEC championship. That's right.
We probably talked about that.
They're probably off this weekend, but then they've got because they've got the first round bye for the playoffs, right? So,
yeah.
So they don't know. I don't know.
I'm not a real big fan of the buys. You know, I think sometimes they
can mess with things. You know, like too much time off can be a bad thing. You know, you get a little rusty, and you know, is there an advantage for a team that plays the first round, you know? that gets right. You know, so I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I've been surprised with Georgia this year. I mean, I'm not surprised that they've been good. It feels like roster construction wise, Alabama, they haven't been. Yeah, I mean, well, they'll beat anyone in the country if they play like that. -3 rushing yards or whatever the fuck, Alabama, just some crazy shit. I had more rushing yards than Alabama did that day, and so did you. So did you, for that matter. We all did. Everyone in the world pretty much did.
It's funny.
Yeah, no, I mean, like they're obviously a very talented team. Kirby recruits, you know, like amazing, you know, kids every year, but it kind of felt like this was going to maybe be like we'll lose a couple games this year and, you know, and still do well, but maybe not world beaters. But I don't know. They could. I mean, Indiana is obviously seems like the team to beat, undefeated right now, but which is crazy. But I don't know. It's the playoffs. It's anyone's game. Maybe Tulane's got it in them. Maybe James Madison's got that dog in him. We'll see. You know.
It's been an interesting year for football, definitely.
Interesting year. Florida football's over, in case anyone's wondering. But I hired the Tulane guy, so I mean, hey,
oh, and then the Michigan guy.
Coach. Michigan
Holy
guy,
shit.
Jesus Christ. Holy shit, yeah, that is a crazy fucking story there. Yeah, that's a rough one.
That's a tabloid one, you know.
That's a tabloid one, absolutely. Yeah, no, I mean, that went from, he's fired for inappropriate shit to, he's in jail now. I'm like, okay. Oh, okay.
Escalated quickly?
Yeah, it did escalate quickly. Like every time I refreshed ESPN, there was some new wrinkle. I was like, oh, man. Yeah. Not great, Bob. Anyway, yeah, sorry. College football. Anything else happening?
No, I don't think so, dude.
It's almost stuff. Christmas time, right? You know, you got probably do some Christmas shopping, getting some presents for the kiddos, for wifey.
Christmas family. Movies.
Movies. Started watching any of those yet? We're like a week from Christmas right now, you know, recording wise. So we're knocking on the door.
Grinch, Home Alone.
Okay. All right, you got some of the staples already.
Yeah. Yep. Elf. We watched Elf. So it's all good stuff. We haven't watched Cranks yet. Christmas with the Cranks. I like that. That's a recent find for me. Relatively recent. That shit is funny. I think it's hilarious. He goes and gets the Botox and he can't drink water or anything. It's just so stupid. He gets the spray tan for the cruise. So funny. Another thing, so I do some Christmas decorations on the outside of the house. Got Christmas lights, and we had this big ho-ho. And I was putting up ho-ho is Santa. I'm sorry. That's what Bennett calls him. He calls him ho-ho.
I was like, I'm not going to ask questions. I don't know what happens in Florida, man.
So we got this big Santa Claus, big inflatable Santa Claus. He's like, he's got to be like 16 foot tall. He's big. And I'm putting him up. And the neighbor comes over. He's like, "I love your Santa Claus, man. I feel like I'm not participating." I was like, "Yeah, you ever seen Christmas with the Cranks? Don't put up your snowman. You got to put up your snowman." I don't know if you've seen the movie or not.
I haven't seen it, but
you've never seen Christmas with the Cranks?
I haven't. No.
It's got Tim Allen, so it's kind of like Tim Allen's in it, but.
He's done some other Christmas movies. I guess it's fair.
So, but anyways, it's a funny one. The family tries to avoid doing Christmas. They're going to go on a cruise. And so like they keep getting dragged into like the Christmas traditions that they're trying to avoid doing. And it's good. It's a fun one. That's it. That's all I got.
All right. Well, on my end, I've got, let's see, a few things. So the same day that I saw Wicked for Good, we did a musical double feature that day. We saw the film version of Merrily, We Roll Along, which is a Broadway show. So we went and saw it last year in New York. They did like a revival of it with Jonathan Groff and Daniel Radcliffe and Lindsay Mendez as like the leads, which it was really fun. It was fantastic. We really enjoyed going. We went for Anna's birthday last year, and they did, in the way that like they did the Hamilton for Disney Plus. They did like a film version of the stage show where it's, they filmed a night of performances. And so it is Jonathan Groff, Daniel Radcliffe, and Lindsay Mendez and others. And they were doing showings of those at like AMC and stuff like that. So we made a plan. We did this first cause we had booked that. And then we did a nice dinner, and then we went and saw Wicked for Good, in IMAX, not ScreenX, which was a good call. So we had fun with Wicked, and I talked about that. But the Merrily filmed version is interesting. It's almost like shot it's like, like Hamilton, it's clear that it's just a filmed version of the stage show. Yeah. This was filmed in a way where it's a lot of close-ups, and you kind of lose the ability to see the full stage and to see other characters. It's like you're focused on this character, even though 3 characters are on stage, so you're only seeing 1 out of 3 characters. And I thought the way they filmed it really did a disservice to the production design of it. Sure. And it was interesting as like an alternative kind of version of it. But I'm really glad that we were able to see the stage show. It's not like we had great seats, so like in some ways it was fun to see these hyper close-ups and the detail and the performances that you certainly wouldn't be able to appreciate even from like pretty good seats. So it was interesting, and I would say it's good and it's worth watching, but it was not the best way to experience it, and the best way to experience it was live in the room. So we enjoyed it, but had our kind of complaints with the way they did it, but the music is great, and those 3 were fantastic and have just great chemistry together, and it's a really interesting show that's basically like told in reverse. Like it starts at the end of the story, and then it ends where it began, where it's 20 years of the friendship of these 3, ending with kind of where it is at the end, which is in a pretty bad state, and going back to the beginning when, they're all good friends, or when they meet, I guess, really. So, So I enjoyed it, and I think the story and the music's all really well done. If you have a chance to see it, you listeners, whoever, you're not going to be able to see it live with those three. This is the closest you can get to that. I think it's not ideal. It's not perfect, version of that, recreation of that, but it's still definitely worth watching because it'll give you'll get something out of it for sure. So would still recommend it. On the TV side of things, I watched 6 episodes of a little show called Chad Powers. Chad.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to watch that. It's on the Hulus, right?
It's on the Hulus / Disney Plus if they're connected, I guess.
Yeah.
Glenn Powell in a dual role as Russ Calloway, something like that.
Yeah.
Kind of douchebag quarterback, hotshot quarterback that fucks it in the national championship, drops the ball at the goal line, and is kind of ridiculed and ruins his life. And a few years down the road, he has genius inspiration to try to be a walk-on at this college, play quarterback again. He puts
at a college
on prosthetics at a college, right? He puts on the prosthetics to become Chad Powers, who's he makes his own persona. He got a funny voice, and that was a little bit Tom Hardy bike riders, but yeah, I ride my motorcycle, I throw college football, I throw the football in college. He does all these things.
Stupid fucking voices.
I will say I had a pretty good fucking time with Chad Powers. It's pretty fun.
It looked like it was fun.
It's silly. It's based off of, a fucking dumb Eli Manning ESPN sketch, where he was like trying out at Penn State or whatever. And it surprised me, I will say. I mean, it's pretty funny. I think, the 6 episodes I didn't mind, and I saw a lot of people who were like, it's like 3 hours worth of shit, like when you like put it all together, and it's like pretty short for a first season, but I'm like, I don't know how much Chad Powers you could possibly make. It did get renewed for a second season. I think I maybe mentioned that because I think I'd only watched the first episode as of the last time we recorded. It's short. You can blow through it really easily. I think it's really fun, especially if you like college football. I was riding high on the Glenn Powell train post The Running Man, which is why I wanted to watch it. And that plus the kind of, this is like peak college football times for like playoffs and stuff like that. So it felt like a good time to watch it. I thought that the way that it went in its last episode, like it went in a direction that I thought was really, really well done and kind of surprising. Like it seems like maybe it's going to be steering into kind of sappy, like, oh, this is kind of, schlocky, whatever kind of thing. But it moves into a pretty interesting place. Okay. So I'm going to be there for season 2. I really enjoyed it. A lot of fun. I think it's funny, and I think,
it's like 3 hours worth of
absurd.
content.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, you could watch the whole first season in a night if you wanted to. They're like 30 to 45 minutes each episode, roughly. I think the first one's a little bit longer, like 45-50-ish. But yeah, it's 6 episodes, and they're like maybe 35 to 40 minutes on average. So whatever that math adds up to, like that's pretty much what you're looking at. I think you would like it. I would recommend it to you.
Nobody wants this. We start and finish to the new season, and nobody wants this.
Oh, okay. How's that?
It's good. It's good. I like. It's got Kristen Bell and I think his name is Andrew.
No, that's your name.
I don't know. Andrew something another, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember his name. Anyways, he's good. He's a good actor. I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
I've heard good things about that.
It's been
and then the second season was like as good or close to the first. Then, like it felt like.
I think the first season's better.
Continuation.
But
okay.
I think it's. I think it's more. It's more of the same. Really,
they didn't fuck it in the second season or anything like that.
Right. They just kind of like coast. They kind of coasted it, but they didn't coast it and not put people in interesting positions. Like it's good. It's still good. I like it.
Okay.
We did do that. So, and we started the new Taylor Swift show too.
Yeah, was it? It's like a documentary series.
A docu-series. Yeah. And I started Stranger Things. So
yeah,
sorry.
I think It's all coming back to you. How far into Stranger Things are you? Because that's the next thing on my list.
One episode.
Okay, I think that's maybe where you were last time. So,
it's still only one episode.
Have you finished Task yet? I know that's something we talked about too. Just while
no,
we're on the
I
subject.
haven't finished that one.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
All right, you've been watching plenty of shit, but there's some stuff you still got to go back to. Then, okay, gotcha. Yeah, Stranger Things. We finished Stranger Things 3. So we're into 4 now, and I'll save that for when we get through 4. We have about a week until the next, less than a week, I think, until the next batch of episodes. So we've got some watching to do, and we're in that 4th season now, where every episode's like an hour plus, and like the finale's like 2+ hours, and I'm sure 5. I think 5 is a little bit more, like not as ridiculous in that way. Like I think the finale is expected to be quite long. But I feel like each episode's like maybe like an hour-ish, as opposed to like, holy shit, like every episode is like 80 minutes long at a minimum. And it's like, that's just a movie. That's just a movie, my dudes.
Yeah.
3's really good though. Three's like normal length ones. 3's really fun. It's the one, it's the one they moved to it's in the summer. They're hanging out at the mall, Starcourt Mall.
Yeah. That's what they introduced Robin in that one, right?
Robin gets introduced, and she's great. Great fun addition.
Maya Hawke,
yes.
I like her. She's cool.
Yeah, no, she's really good. She's the rare child of two actors that has inherited the acting genes came to her on both sides. So it's good for her. Good on her. It's a lot of fun. It's the Russians. The Russians are like building a gate to the Upside Down underneath the mall. There's like the Russian Terminator guy. Some will they, won't they with Hopper and Joyce, Dustin and Steve hanging out, and all in all, it's a really, really fun season. And and Mike and Elle are obsessed with each other, and then breaking up, and it's good fun. And then the big bad is Billy. Billy gets infected by the Mind Flayer, and then the Mind Flayer starts like taking people and then making a big physical, like live action, flesh version of the Mind Flayer. And so it's the big thing in Starcourt Mall at the end, which is, I don't know, it's just a really fun season. I think it like feels really different from the first 2 seasons. I think like just the setting of the mall and like the summeriness, like it just felt like it's really fun and vibrant. And then it ends in a kind of a pretty dark and kind of dour way with like the buyers moving away and Hopper is kind of presumed dead, maybe missing. So it does end on kind of a sour note. But it's really good. I really enjoyed it. I think 3 is my rewatch rankings. I think is probably 1, 3, 2, which is I think probably what I would have expected going in, but it's been solidified at this point. And I do like 2. I think 2 overall is pretty good. It just has that one shit episode that really brings it down. a big down.
Fucking oof. That was a bad one.
That was a bad one. So, and 3 doesn't have anything like that. Like a 3 all around is really good fun. And pretty hard hitting at times too. So that's what I've been watching. The last thing I will talk about before we wrap up is Anna and I took a day trip up to New York City. It's typically our like Christmas present to each other. Is take a day trip up there. We took the train in the morning, came back at night, and so we had a nice brunch. We walked around a little bit while the weather was nice. It was going to rain later in the day, but like the big thing, we usually pick a show to go to. Last year I think we did the Moulin Rouge musical. I think we've done the first year we did Wicked. We did the Wicked, the actual musical. This year we did not go to a like stage show. We decided to see the Radio City Rockettes, the Christmas Spectacular. They're the incredibly talented women. They do the leg kicks and the dancing. I'd never been. I know she had been a few times when she was a kid. And I know they put out like a TV special, I think, during COVID, so you can kind of see it that way. I don't know what I expected. I think I just expected an hour and a half of these impressive women like just dancing and doing the leg kick a bunch.
Yeah.
It's a fucking fever dream of a show because it's a Christmas spectacular. So it's a bunch of different Christmas numbers, and there are other performers in there. And then there's like a whole biblical section at one point where they got camels on stage, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening in this, man. It's fucking wild. But like the stage construction is fucking incredible. And I was blown away by it. Like it's a big deal. It's a big touristy thing to go and do. And we had, a lot of jackasses in the row in front of us that were just like videoing it the whole time, even though there's signs plastered everywhere that says, don't film this. Don't use your flash photography. It's not enforced. I think they're stricter about it with like stuff with like, like recognizable actors. Like, if they did that at, say, Merrily, Merrily We Roll Along, when we saw that, they would have shut that shit down, I think, pretty quickly. They kind of let it go. I mean, it is what it is. It's very kid friendly. There's like really cool lights. Funnily enough, it's the real ScreenX experience where like they have projections like on the ceiling and all around you, and I think it's actually really well done. Just the effects and stuff, like all of it. I was just really impressed by it, and like it's all over the place. It's not just the leg kicks. The leg kicks, they're impressive. The synchronization is incredible.
I've only ever known the leg kicks.
Well, the leg kicks are incredible. I mean, you go for the leg kicks, it's good. Everything else is a bonus. It's really impressive stuff. I think one of the
Dallas cheerleaders went to the Rockettes, I think. At the end of the last season of the Dallas Cowboy show on Netflix.
That's certainly possible. It's a big thing to do.
So.
Yeah, probably did. Yeah, no, it's good. It was the 100-year anniversary, so it was kind of a fitting and fun year. We didn't really know that when we decided to do it and planned on doing it. There just wasn't like a show that was like an obvious, like, we got to do this. We got to go see this show. So it was really fun. It was very Christmassy, very festive, and to be honest, we really haven't done much else on the Christmas front. We're super decked out in decorations and stuff, but we haven't really watched any Christmas movies. But we've got plans to watch a few in the coming week, and maybe a little after Christmas too. We've got a little running list of what we do want to watch this year, and so we'll be watching some Christmas stuff for sure.
New York's got a new mayor too.
Just about. He's elected but not sworn in. Next month he'll be sworn in. Mamdani. Yeah. Well, I mean, depends on who you ask, but
I don't know. I think he was a pretty cool guy.
Yeah,
seemed like a pretty cool guy. Seemed like a nice fella.
I'd have voted for him, but I can't. I don't live in New York.
Are you telling me you can't vote? You can't vote for their mayor?
Did you see I think it was the Kentucky governor was like, people were calling, be like, "Hey, I can't. How do I? And like why? I don't know how to tell you this, so but funny. Like, you can't vote for the New York City mayor. Like, I don't know. Incredible stuff. We live in a society, that's for sure. And then we had a pretty good dinner, and then we got some drinks at a little pub called Pig and Whistle, which was good. The
Pig and Whistle?
The Pig and Whistle, yeah, that's
Pig
right.
and Whistle, okay.
Yeah. I made friends with the guy at the bar who was drinking some mezcal, so you would have gotten along really well with him.
I would have thrown up all over him.
No, it was fun. It was a good day trip. Had a lot of fun. It's a fun tradition. We like going. But yeah, it's Stranger Things and Christmas stuff for us in the next in the coming weeks. I think is pretty much where we're at. So, and that's fun. That's fun. I'm going to throw out a quick listener's corner before we wrap up, and I'm only doing that because we are going to. I don't know when we'll record again. For a regular episode, and we will be recording before we do a regular episode because we're going to be recording a bonus episode. Oh my. We'll talk about that. So Bruce Brown writes in on the listener's corner. about there's two things. I'm going to consolidate them because there's some overlap. Task, I think he actually wrote in about already, but he says he wrote in again. Ruffalo's a douche, but good actor. Played sad sack, sloppy FBI agent well. Jumped the shark one episode and lost me. Rest of the cast was really good. I don't know. I really want to watch Task, but I think it's one of those things, I think we probably said last episode, we'll, once we've both seen it, that'll be a good time to talk about it. Yogurt Shop Murder on Netflix, very good. Heard the story before, left it as unsolved, but the case was actually just solved via DNA to an asshole who committed suicide in 1999. Believes it happened in Austin. I guess spoilers for that, but I assume it's a documentary on Netflix. I'm not sure. Matlock, season 2. Wondering why I'm watching. It is fine, but I don't need it. I will take the original any day. Honestly, every time I see a preview for Matlock on TV, I think it's a fake show, so that tracks. Landman, season 2. Great show, strong cast. Billy Bob's a great actor, must watch. Feel like that's kind of in the Yellowstone vein.
It's definitely Taylor Sheridan, right?
I think it is. Yeah, I think it's literally Taylor Sheridan. I think you might be right. Hallmark movies, god awful this year.
Oh,
I suppose every year. Christmas at the Catnip Cafe is good and has a Pink Ranger in the lead. I don't know what that means.
Really?
Well, it says it has a Pink Ranger. Is it the Pink Ranger? Is it Kimberly? Is that Amy Jo Johnson?
Yeah.
Is that who we're talking about? I can. All right, that's fine. The other dozen I have suffered through are just painful. Yeah, that's fair.
He clearly hasn't seen Screen X. Promise him that.
Yeah, that's definitely more. That's definitely physically more painful. I know. I don't think he emailed in, but I don't know where it is. He did recommend the Michelle Pfeiffer one on Prime. I don't know if you've seen anything about that. I think it's Oh What Fun.
I have seen it.
You have or have not?
I have not seen it, but
you know what it is.
Yeah, I've seen yes.
All right. I can't find his exact verbiage, but I do think you recommended that, and I'll just say that offhand. Finally, Welcome to Derry. He finished the season last night, and this was sent yesterday, so 2 nights ago. It was really good. Direct ties to the 2 It movies. Even has some cast from the 2 It movies to tie it together. You learn a lot about Pennywise. It's graphic, scary, very well done. Well set up for chapter 2, and even in the closing it says Welcome to Derry chapter 1. So I think oh yeah, okay. I was just about to get into something and then he just explains it himself, so I'll just keep reading. I read that they were hoping to do 3 seasons. Overall it was great, and I do like the direct tie to the movies, and I need to rewatch both of them. Yes, I think the plan is 3 seasons and they're each jumping to a different point in time. Yeah, I've heard good things about this show. I color me surprised. It seemed like it was just going to be kind of a cash grab, repeat of those It movies, which I liked, but I was like, I don't know, I don't need 8 episodes of that. And I did watch the first episode, and I thought it was like good, not like mind blowing, but I've continued to hear good things about the show and the connections to the movies. So I think I might go back in and maybe post Christmas, I guess. Got maybe post Stranger Things, maybe post Christmas movies and stuff. But it's a show that I'll watch on my own. I guess really just when I have some alone time. That's maybe, I guess, when I'll fire it up. But yeah, I'm definitely curious to keep watching it. I wasn't. I thought the first episode did enough to make me interested watching, and I just haven't made the time to keep watching it. But yeah, definitely hearing some encouraging thoughts makes me more inclined to go back to it. So
yeah, now
we can say thank you for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard, please spread the word. We are on Patreon at patreon.com/watchreviewrepeat. Get early access to all of our regular episodes, timed exclusive access to any bonus episodes we record. And it is not lost on me that we have not recorded a single bonus episode in the entirety of 2025, and that's
we're going to correct
shameful. That's a little shameful, I guess, on our end. But sir, he's doing a big scratch.
He says yes.
I think he's showing his outrage at the fact that no bonus episodes have been recorded in 2025, but we are going to correct that. You might have noticed that Andrew just casually mentioned that he watched a movie by the name of 300, and let me. Well, I mean,
that was just I was just scrolling. I was looking for something.
You just scrolling. You just found something. Well, maybe there's a little bit more significance. Maybe, just maybe. we're going to be talking about 300 and its pre-sequel on a bonus episode, which we hope to record before the end of the year. So the plan is to record it before the end of the year. It will go up on the Patreon before the end of 2025. I will make good on my promise to put out a bonus episode. It won't be on the regular feed until probably January, realistically speaking. But we'll have done the thing. And, I don't know if that's going to make everyone happy, but I will, it will make me happy. And hopefully watching at least that first 300. I don't know about the second one, but I'm curious. I've only seen it once. I'm curious to revisit it. The original 300 is definitely a childhood staple. Teenage staple, I guess, probably more accurate. But
I haven't seen it in years.
I haven't seen it in years either. So I'm due to watch them myself in the next little while here, and I think that'll be a fun bonus episode. And why are we doing that? Well, you'll just have to listen to the bonus episode to find out why we settled on the 300s. But yeah, that should be up on the Patreon. Maybe around the time this goes up on the regular feed, maybe, or at least by the end of calendar year. I think that's the plan. So we're going to try to make it happen, unless we get some Screen X shenanigans that fuck with us. Yeah. Who's to say? Yeah. Our website's watchreviewrepeat.com. We have links to all of our social media accounts on there. We're on not Twitter. We're on Blue Sky at watchreviewrepeat.bsky.social. We are on Facebook, facebook.com/watchreviewrepeat. We are on Instagram at watchreviewrepeat. You can also get in contact with us if you have any questions or comments or suggestions, if you want to be part of a future edition of the Listener's Corner, which is to say, if you've got something to say, send it our way to watchreviewrepeat@gmail.com. It's a good, easy way to get in contact with us. Our intro and outro track is Mechanolith by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com, licensed under the Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. So our next regular episode, as I've said, our next recording episode will be the bonus episode, which will not be our next regular episode. I think the next regular episode will probably be Avatar, more Avatar. Avatar 3, Avatar 3D, Avatar the Screen X experience. Yeah, I think what is it actually? Fire and Ash. Fire and Ash. We'll probably be talking Avatar, Fire and Ash. We are recording this, as I think I said, about a week from Christmas. Obviously, we're going to be busy with Christmas. Andrew's got a couple kiddos running around. Well, one kiddo running around and one kiddo probably well on his way to running around. Yeah, he's wiggling around for now, but he's going to get there. It's busy. It's family time. It's, presents. It's, the holiday season and all that. So we're going to, try to figure out a time and place to see Avatar in a non-fucked format. But it's probably not going to happen imminently. I think probably realistically, we probably won't see it and record it, for a couple of weeks, probably looking at closer to New Year's-ish, around that time frame. So it'll be probably the first episode that we put out in the new year is probably the most realistic thing, which is to say, I think this will be the final episode that we put out in 2025. This is how we're going to close out the year. But I think the only appropriate way, I think, to end this is to say Merry Christmas and
Happy New Year,
Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah to those.
We made it through 2025.
Just barely, but we made it indeed. Here's to another year.
The fucking Twilight Zone.
In the Twilight Zone. But we will make do with Avatar and all the movies, TV shows, and things that will hopefully still continue to keep us as sane as possible in 2026.
Next year.
So.
We have, what we have next year?
We've got another Dune movie coming out. I don't know what we're...
we got Dune and the Odyssey.
And the Odyssey.
Oh,
and Avengers.
And Avengers.
Yeah.
And whatever Steven Spielberg put out a trailer for.
Shit. Those are all things we're going to talk about
next
month. Yeah, no.
Gonna be a big year for movies.
Well, yeah, well, we're gonna. I mean, once we do Avatar, that might be the last of our, 2025
stuff,
stuff content, and then we'll maybe shift gears, do our year in review, look ahead episodes, and then find see where we find ourselves in terms of what makes sense to cover starting 2026 properly. But it's kind of the roadmap, and somewhere on the road, 300 episodes will slot in somewhere too. So, yeah, I guess that pretty much does it. I guess we can take our listeners out. Yeah.
I was going to try to say something like, never mind. We've been at it too long. Just take care now. Bye then.
Merry Christmas and later's on the Minjay.